Good evening, everyone. It's Thursday, September 8th, 2016. I'm Maral Ketwari.
And I'm Alexandria Garcia. Welcome to the Local Live.
There are two proposals to remove Mayor Rosenblum's powers. The latest updates coming right up.
Back to school means more back-to-school news in our area.
The LMC-TV Play of the Week is also returning.
Democratic candidates running for trustees in the village of Mamaroneck refuse to debate with Stuart Teekerts. Find out more about this and other hot stories in our segment, In the Media.
A local producer shares his video about the Tamarack Tower Foundation.
In our roundtable tonight, Executive Director of the Center for Continuing Education, Larchmont in Mamaroneck, Blythe Hammer, will talk to us about all the exciting classes available to our community.
Tell us what you think. In person, over the phone, online. Watch and hear yourself on TV. You tell us, we air it. This is the Local Live.
Listen up, Village of Mamaroneck residents. A referendum will happen this upcoming election. Why? Well, the Board of Trustees passed two local laws, U and T, to remove the mayor's powers of appointing the village lawyer and members of the planning and zoning boards. The power of the appointing will fall directly to the Board of Trustees if you vote for it on election night. Minutes before the special meeting on Tuesday night, Democratic trustee Elisa Miller spoke on behalf of her party and explained to the Local Live more about the purpose of these two laws.
One resolution would be to enable the residents to vote to provide the full board the ability to vote in favor of appointing our lawyer, our attorney, which would be for the benefit of the entire village. So that's one. And then the second one is for the planning board and the zoning board to make sure that the full board also has the ability to appoint anyone who should be vacant on those. And so this gives the entire board the opportunity to be the majority rather than just give that power to one individual. And that one individual right now is the mayor, and it's not necessarily to take away his powers, but it's to ensure that the entire board has a say and the stake into who is appointed to these most important positions.
But residents of the village of Mamaroneck were not too happy with the law proposals to remove the mayor's powers. In a peaceful demonstration, residents with signs on their hands saying support the mayor and stop Potok and Finch's power grab showed up in half an hour before the meeting outside village court.
What bothers me, what's going on lately, is that nobody works together. Norman has been a magnificent mayor. He has worked for everyone in this community. He's done the right things for everyone. Doesn't matter what party. I'm not a Republican, I'm a Democrat. And I believe that things should be worked out together. You don't take powers away from somebody because of for the reason I don't understand this. These powers have always been in the mayor's hands.
What it is this just a continuation of the petty politics that Trustee Potok, Trustee Miller, and Trustee Finch have been doing for the past 3 or 4 years. They're continuing to destroy or look to destroy the office of mayor. I guarantee you they won't do it. Unfortunately, what's happening is, aside from trying to take my office away, take parking space away, etc. and so on, what they don't like to accept is the fact that there is law, New York State Village law, that gives the mayor specific powers of appointment. Well, they can't take that. If they pass this, whether it's myself or someone else comes in as a mayor, I'm not going to be mayor all along, that mayor no longer has the authority to make appointments that they have been since the beginning of the New York State Constitution. I think it was 1938 when they did it. It's just ridiculous. You have an office of mayor for a reason, to represent the village.
The meeting lasts 2.5 hours, and members of the Board of Trustees reaffirmed their position about letting residents make a decision on the referendum. Mayor Rosenblum also reaffirmed his position about this action to be petty politics, and he challenged the legality of the special meeting. However, residents fired back at the Board of Trustees with anger and frustration.
Those appointments actually impact each one of us as village members very significantly. It's not beside the point. The decisions that are made on the planning board and the ZBA affect us very significantly on a day-to-day basis, is what's going on our roads, in our schools, in our streets, in our communities. And it is important that the members of the board that are elected and represent us as a majority make those positions and appointments.
I echo the speakers who said, let's calm down. Let's try to get this in perspective. This is not about personalities. It's about making fair laws and then offering them to the public for a vote. What's so evil about that?
Nothing.
But it seems to me that the mayor has been elected 5 times. He must be doing something right. And it seems to me that this is just a power grab on the... You're working for the Democratic Party. You're not working for the people of Mamaroneck. You're just trying to grab the power you couldn't grab in the last election, so you're trying to do it this way. It's disgraceful.
This is unbelievable on both sides. I'm taking nobody's side, but it's an illegal meeting and we're voting on it. Outrageous. Outrageous.
That's the point. The mayor asserts it's an illegal meeting. That's not been established. So we shouldn't repeat it as fact, okay? The meeting notice went out.
You know, go home, each and every one of you, and listen to what went on here tonight. And it's an embarrassment to live in this village. I raised a family here. I love it, and I work here. But it's outrageous.
On Tuesday, November 8th, this referendum could change the way politics happen in the village of Mamaroneck. Spread the word to residents who aren't aware of it, and make sure to be informed before casting your vote on election night. We remind you to pay attention to LMC-TV, meet the candidates, to know your local candidates running for trustee. The schedule and programming will be available on lmctv.org.
For the second year in a row, Mamaroneck Union Free School District had a 3% increase in enrollment. The district welcomed a little less than 5,500 students on the first day of school, with 160 newly enrolled. And in a letter to parents, Mamaroneck School Superintendent Dr. Robert Schaps said some of the water sources in the 6 schools exceeded allowable levels of lead. Water tests were conducted in July, and those reports came back this week, with 46 of the 339 water sources, including fountains and sinks, exceeding the acceptable levels. Schaps said bottled water coolers would be made available, and signs will be posted near the out-of-service water sources. And last but not least, the school website is back up and running after having undergone renovations this summer. You can now check out the updated look at mamkschools.org.
Here's Peter Melavenda with what's trending in the media.
And we start tonight with a major upset in the race for 3 seats on the Village of Mamaroneck Board of Trustees, as 3 Democratic nominees refused to debate a 4th Democratic candidate, Stuart Teekert, last night. Why? Well, here's where it gets interesting. According to Randy Rabinowitz, chairwoman of the Mamaroneck Village Democrats, she and the Democratic candidates are skeptical of Teekert because of his former affiliation with Dan Natchez as his campaign manager when Natchez ran for mayor. Natchez is also organizing the debate with the Mamaroneck Coordinating Council of Neighborhood Organization and Groups for the 4th consecutive year. Check out the Mamaroneck Review for details on how it all played out. And the new school year got off to a scary start on one college campus when a fire broke out inside of a Purchase College dorm room over the weekend. Although nobody was injured, it took several local fire departments to put out the blaze. Campus personnel are working with the students to find new housing and help recover their belongings. For details on how to donate to students directly affected by the fire, head over to the patch for the link. And now that school is finally open, state police are saying drive carefully. The annual campaign to help keep kids safe traveling to and from school starts this week, running through mid-October. Although, according to the patch, officers are urging Mamaroneck motorists to keep an eye out for children whose minds may still be in vacation mode. Check out their website for tips on staying safe. And speaking of staying safe, the Village of Mamaroneck police responded to reports of a large fight over the weekend. Officers rushed to Mamaroneck Avenue, where the altercation was reported. Turned out it was nothing major, nobody was injured, and no arrests were made. And in a fight to the finish, the Mamaroneck football season opened with a win. It was Tigers versus Tigers as our hometown heroes defeated the White Plains team in a close 14-13 win. There were plenty of photographers there to capture the moment. You can check out the pictures on LoHud.com. And 3 young girls took the next big step in their lives this week. And it's all thanks to the help of 2 Mamaroneck residents. When the girl's mother passed away suddenly in March, Amy and John Stellwagen temporarily moved out of town to help raise the kids in Danbury. When a New York-based television show learned of their situation, they renovated the entire house, paving the way for the family to move back here in Mamaroneck, where the girls are starting the next big chapter in their lives. Head over to the Daily Voice for the touching story. And that's what's new in the media this week. I'm Peter Malavenda.
It's time for some local trivia, but after that, our live roundtable brings us Blythe Hammer to talk about the Center for Continuing Education in Larchmont and Mamaroneck.
It's back to school, and not just for the kids. We'll be finding out what the adults can learn. I'm Maura Carlin.
And I'm Michael Witch. As always, you can call, email, or tweet with a comment or a question for our guest.
And of course, Mike, I want to know what you're planning to learn about. We're joined by Blythe Hammer, the Executive Director of the Center for Continuing Education in Larchmont and Mamaroneck. Blythe, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Why don't you start by just tell us about the Center for Continuing Education?
Okay, the center has actually been around since 1973 for over 40 years. We offer classes about anything and everything to residents from throughout Lower Westchester. We're self-sustaining. We're not-for-profit. We get no grants from the school district or any other sources for that matter. But most importantly, I think our philosophy is what I want to share with you today, and that's that we want to welcome you, whether you're coming for intellectual engagement or social connection. We're a vibrant family of lifelong learners.
And I think you want to be part of this community. And
very much so. We feel that strong communities are actually built by local organizations, and we count ourselves among them. I think taking classes with us is a great way to meet people.
Well, your brochure has just come out, and it's pretty extensive. If we can take a look at the brochure.
I counted something about 135 or so classes this
143. That's you're a very good counter.
I'm off by a few.
That's not bad.
And what was very interesting to me is about half of them are brand new.
That's right.
So people who've taken classes with you in the past have something to look forward to.
Exactly. And we have a lot of people who do return year after year, people who learn languages, people who want to continue learning how to write better. But then we try to offer things that are new and different every year. Our trips are one example that we try not to repeat.
Let's get to that in a minute. Was there something you wanted to tell us about the catalog itself, the cover of it? Was it?
Well, the cover, I think, speaks to the wide variety of classes we have. So all the different words there represent some classes inside, and there's many classes inside where no words are on the cover. So open it up and look inside.
So let's talk about some of the classes, because there are some that you really want to highlight. And the first one has to do with the World Trade Center.
Yes.
Why don't you tell us about that one?
Well, we are so blessed in this community to have so many talented people. Judith Dupre is a local author. She's celebrated. She's a New York Times bestseller, and she's just published a book this summer called One World Trade Center, and it's about building the incredible new building that's down there on the 9/11 memorial site. And she's our notable neighbor this fall. She's graciously agreed to speak on our behalf on September 19th. And we're really excited. She's gotten rave reviews on her book and lots of very positive press, and she's a dynamic speaker.
And that course actually is right after your fall open house, isn't it?
That's right. And I should say that that lecture actually is free. We want to give people a taste of what we're about. So it's a complimentary lecture, and right before that we're going to have our teachers available. It's a casual drop-in, so if you're thinking about taking a course but you want to learn more, you want to meet the teacher, come and join us. There'll be refreshments. It will be low-key and casual, and then stay for this fantastic lecture.
Okay. Can we see the next slide?
Sure. We have some pictures that we want to show you. I'd like to mention also that you've got a wonderful website.
Thank you.
You can meet the teachers. Many of them are photographed there.
Yeah.
And
many of them are local.
Bio.
Correct. Correct. Well, our teachers, in my mind, are the core of our program. No matter what I do or any of our board members do, it actually is all about the teachers. So
Now, what we just saw,
Yes.
can we go back to that picture?
House. Yeah.
That's one of the trips that you're offering.
That is one of the trips. And before I forget, I do want to mention that in addition to Judith Dupre speaking on September 19th, she's also leading a trip to One World Trade Center on October 20th. That's going to be a very special trip. Sadly, it's already sold out.
Is it really?
It is, but
Well, sadly, but wonderfully for you.
Sadly for you, though.
Yes, because I haven't made my reservation.
But
And what we were just about to see.
Right.
Okay.
If we could just put that picture back up so we can actually talk about that trip that you guys have.
I do want to talk about the Glass House, but before I do that, I want to say one
no.
last thing, which is that we're adding another One World Trade Center
You
trip
are?
on
Okay.
November 3rd. So don't be dismayed. Go to our website. We just added another version of it. The trip to the Glass House by Philip Johnson is also going to be a lot of fun. That's actually coming up September 23rd. It's in New Canaan, Connecticut. It's an iconic house that is notable, as you can see from the photograph, mostly because it's almost entirely transparent. Nearby is Grace Farms. That's a brand new site about 5 minutes away. That's an old farm that was reclaimed, and a beautiful building was put on there, designed by Pritzker Prize-winning architects. There's a great place to have lunch, and I think all in all it's going to be a wonderful day.
It's great.
Do you want to talk about some of the teachers that you've managed to recruit for these classes?
I do.
We have some pictures.
We do have some pictures. Let's see. I'd love to talk about a teacher who's new to us this fall, Karen Austin. She's teaching also a class that's, I think sounds fascinating, Cultivating Happiness, the Science of Well-Being. And she's done a lot of study with a man whose name has 3 names that I can never quite remember, Ben Shaltazir. I know that's wrong. I could look in the catalog. Anyway, he's up at Harvard. She's done a lot of study, and she's a very thoughtful person. You may know her as an author as well. So I'm really excited about that class. I think people are searching for how to be happy, and I think she may have some answers.
Okay.
Yes. We have another photo that we want to put up, and another teacher.
Another teacher, and depending who's coming up there.
What is this being taught? I thought it was tennis.
This is Betsy Underhill. Now this is not tennis. So this is pickleball. What the heck is pickleball? It's a really weird name, and apparently it was named this because the people who invented it had a dog named Pickles who kept running after the wiffle balls that they use. So it's very easy on the joints. It's very easy to pick up and learn. It's played with wiffle balls and a very light, short racket indoors in our gym. And it's the fastest growing sport in America, and it's offered right here in Larchmont, Mamaroneck. I do want to say that this is, I think, an example of the range of courses that we offer. We go from pretty serious and pretty intellectual to no brain involved necessarily at all. You can just have fun and hit the wiffle ball around.
And how do you get ideas for what courses to offer?
You know, I get a lot of ideas from people in the community, friends, reading newspapers. I consider myself a prime candidate for these classes, so things I'm interested in, I often pursue. There was a great article in the New York Times about this Manhattan architecture by boat trip that we have a photo of. I thought that sounded great. It's led by an AIA-trained architect, and we offered it for the first time last year. It sold out, and we're offering it again this fall, and it's close to being sold out. So I get ideas from a variety of sources, mostly from talking to people in the community.
Who can take the classes? Is it just adults?
Right. So a lot of people, I think, probably have a perception that continuing ed is just for people who are retired or people who have time on their hands. We try to offer a lot of classes for a lot of different age ranges. We just a year ago or so, after I took over, started offering classes for high school kids. Okay. We have a study skills for high school success class that's sold out. That's for 9th and 10th graders. We have Young Makers workshops for 4th and 5th graders and middle schoolers.
Oh.
The Young Makers for 4th and 5th graders has sold out. We've just had to add another section. And we have college essay writing classes. On the far end of the spectrum, I was just mentioning to you that we have a tech troubleshooting class, and that's for one-on-one help for people who cannot figure out their devices. And the MHS students from the tech club are there on hand to offer you one-on-one help. So you don't have to sit through a class and hear what you already know. You actually get to ask the question that's troubling you. So we offer everything on both ends of the spectrum and lots of stuff in between too.
What kind of feedback have you had about courses, how they've affected people?
I think one of the most touching stories I heard was just this summer. I ran into somebody I know, and she said, you know, my mother took your Spanish class. Her mother's, I think, about 85. And she said she made a very good friend there. This woman is a younger woman. She's probably in her 40s. And even after the Spanish class was over, the two have remained close friends, and they now visit with each other on a regular basis. So that kind of friendship between students who have never met before and who are of different ages was very touching to me.
We have a question from a viewer. She wants to know, do you offer senior discounts or scholarships?
We do not offer senior discounts, and we cannot offer scholarships, unfortunately. We're not set up to be able to ascertain, you know, who is worthy of scholarships. We are not-for-profit, and we do try very hard to keep our prices as low as possible. So we hope to offer a wide variety of classes in price ranges. I think we charge $10 for the tech troubleshooting class, for instance.
Okay. What do you think is the most interesting or oddball course that's ever been offered?
Or is offered now?
Or is offered now. Tough one. I mean, pickleball, when I first announced it, my entire board was like, what? What is that? So that was one. We do have, well, I don't know if it's an oddball, but it's a psychic reading. And people really enjoy that. I think the one that's probably most relevant to me, and the one that you don't see everywhere, is Superpower Memory Class. And that is actually tips and techniques for how to remember things. And I don't know about you, but I'm having trouble with that. And I took that class, and I have to tell you, it worked.
Really?
It really did, yeah.
What if someone watching has an idea for a class? How would they let you know?
Please email us at info@lmcce.org.
And we should have you tell the website also.
Website is, and it's a hard one to remember, lmcce.org, and that stands for the old name that we used to have, which was Larchmont Mamaroneck Center for Continuing Education, LMCCE. But we are now called the Center for Continuing Education. So a little confusing, but.
When is the time to sign up for all of this? And
now and always. Our classes.
Is it continuing?
It is continuing. Our classes begin. We actually have some classes for high school students beginning next week. Adult classes begin the week of the 21st of September, but they have staggered start dates. So many classes don't start until October and November. It depends on the length of the classes. If they run for 4 weeks or 6 weeks, or if it's a trip, it runs once. So you can always sign up for something.
And you can sign up online as well as by phone or in person?
Correct. We have office hours in Mamaroneck High School from 9 to 12, Monday through Friday when school is in session.
Right.
And our website and telephone. So.
And then if you do sign up and a course is filled, you're notified.
There's a wait list, and in fact, we encourage you to sign up on the wait list. That way we know there's interest, and we can offer a second section, which we've done multiple times. The One World Trade Center trip, the Makers Workshops.
I think I noticed that the area where there are most workshops is fitness and health and wellness.
Yes, I really worked hard in that. I think even though we have lots of fitness options in the area, a lot of the gyms offer the same classes. And we don't really have a central place that offers a lot focused on mindfulness and meditation and wellness that's not strictly athletic. So I really, I've worked hard to bring some great teachers. We have a mindfulness-based stress reduction class that's beginning next week. Lawrence Magro has taught for us in the past. She gets unbelievable accolades from her students. Anne Randall wrote me 4 days ago, and I'm using her name because she asked me to. She said, this course changed my life. So we do have some teachers, I think, that actually will change people's lives.
And you even have some about sleep time. One for about family bedtime routines, and another one, better sleep for adults.
Correct. These are all items that are near and dear to my heart, so I always try to, like I said, I listen to what I'm interested in, and because I'm not a particularly unusual person, so I figure what I'm interested in, other people may be as well. So yeah, better sleep. Who doesn't need better sleep?
That's right.
And more of it.
So we are actually almost out of time. I will give you a warning.
Almost out of time?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if there might be another question coming in, but so far my little iPad doesn't reveal that.
Okay, but you might want to try the tech course.
Yes. Thank you, Mara. Is there something that we haven't, that hasn't come up that you'd like to make sure to mention?
I would love people to try our open house. We had one last winter, and we had so many. Actually, a very funny thing that happened was a lot of our teachers met the other teachers, and they all ended up signing up for the other teachers' classes. Our teachers are very impressive, and I think if you have doubts or hesitations, it's a great way to meet the teacher, find out if you think it's for you, and
Did you once have Ang Lee as a notable neighbor?
We certainly did.
How did you ever get him?
Well, that's my little trade secret. We had Tim Geithner. We had Elizabeth Colbert, the Pulitzer Prize-winning author of the book on climate change. Again, and if anyone would like to be a notable neighbor, let me know, because we have so many, as I said,
I do know
members of the
that
community.
Thomas Friedman, the physician, the director of, he's a Mamaroneck High School graduate.
Is he really?
Yes, he is.
Well, thank you. That's a
but
good
I don't
lead.
know where he lives.
Well, I can find out.
Let's find out, and maybe we can get him in here, and he can
Thank you.
talk to us about the Zika virus.
That would be great. Thank you. Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
And we're going to be back with more news right after this, as well as the answer to that trivia question.
Don't forget the trivia. It's big.
This week in sports, the Rhinebeck boys soccer team started off their season with a closely matched game against Harrison. Senior Reed Peterson provided the heroics for the Panthers when he scored the go-ahead goal and the LMC Varsity Sports Play of the Week.
Pierre Cleur sends it deep. Will it stay in? Gallagher chasing it. Will stay in? Yes. And Gallagher crosses. The header. Oh, is it in? It is. Reed Peterson.
That is impressive.
The header off the cross by Gallagher makes it 2-1 Rhinebeck.
Have you ever wanted to produce your own piece and have it run right here on our show? You can contact us to collaborate. Producer Joel Louis Ferdinand did just that. He reported on Taste of Portchester, an event organized by the Tamarack Tower Foundation, which gives aid to students from a Portchester school district.
Part of the Tamarack Tower Foundation to raise money for the students at the school to give back to them. We give back via grants to the school, scholarships.
The committee itself, these are people who went to the school here or taught in the school here, love the community, love the schools, love the kids, and give 110% of themselves.
We just explored Portchester in a way that we've never explored it before, visiting the different restaurants, talking with different people, to the owners of the restaurants, people participating in the tour. It was fabulous because it was for the support of the Portchester schools and the Tamarack Foundation. So we're supporting it in that regard, which was wonderful.
Tamarack Tower struck me as a great organization for two big reasons. One is the cause. The kids in the Portchester schools are just aces. The money that they raise goes to three purposes. It goes to student scholarships, it goes to teacher and school grants, and it goes to capital improvements in the school. So what better thing than investing in the future of our kids and the future really of our community, of our world, through the schools and the students.
I got to thank the community for making Tamarack Towers a big success, really. So, yeah, the Board of Education supports us, the community supports us. This is not the wealthiest community in the world, but you know what? They give. They give their time, they give their money, and they know a darn good cause. Kids of Portchester.
You're watching The Local Live,
the only news show on Larchmont and Mamaroneck on LMC-TV.
Tilly's a beautiful blonde and white dog who's very muscular with a lean body. She's very endearing and would do best in a home with someone who is dog savvy, can give her predictable routine, and continue her training program. Tilly's a wonderful communicator, very affectionate, and would make a loving companion. For more information on how to adopt Tilly or browse other adorable pets, go to www.ny-petrescue.org.
Remember, if you'd like to keep us on the air, support our program by checking out our website at www.lmc-tv.org and click the donate button at the upper right corner. We really appreciate any contribution.
We're always welcoming new interns and volunteers, so send your emails to thelocallive@lmctv.org and join us. We love hearing from you. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Alexandria Garcia.
And I'm Marala Kathwari. See you next week for another episode of The Local Live.
Go. Slow. Whoa.
Can the local live give my pet ostrich the power of human speech?